Hi, I'm Sam Hampton, and I would like to show you how I make a low-carb tiramisu. We use these small ladyfinger biscuits, cookies, sugar-free Jello, mascarpone cheese, and a whipped topping, very similar to Cool whipped topping. And we make it a low-carb way. A normal tiramisu will be about 40 to 60 carbs, and the version that we're going to make today will be about 15 carbs. First off, we're going to start by making some lady fingers, which are even more low carb than these. These small cookies are all right for a low carb dessert, but they're about 5 to 6 grams of carbs per each one of these, and we can make a ladyfinger that is about 2.5 to 3 carbs per biscuit. Start out making our ladyfingers by using Splenda instead of sugar. This is one of the major savings in carbs, and we want to make our carbs that we do use to get the most carb for our bang of our bucks. We separate 3 eggs. These are large eggs. And we add 2 tablespoons of Splenda instead of sugar. We're going to beat these up for 5 minutes in 1-minute intervals and show you that we get a very yellow looking mixture after the end of 5 minutes. Here is our mixture. So we've started out beating 3 egg yolks with 2 tablespoons of Splenda on high for about a minute. And this is what it looks like. We're going to beat it for 4 more minutes, and we'll show you the results of that. Here we are halfway through our 5-minute beating process. As you can see, the egg whites are starting to take on a form of being a very good creamy mixture, and it's starting to ribbon. And we'll go for another 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and see what we have at that, and then we'll whip our egg whites and put the lady fingers back in the oven. Here's our mixture after we've beaten this for 5 minutes. Very important to beat it for 5 minutes or it will not come up to this kind of an emulsion, and you get ribbons of beaten eggs, and this is the secret to making real fluffy good lady fingers. We have transferred our egg mixture to the larger mixing bowl. We're going to use 1 capful, which is 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and mix this in. Okay, now we have measured out 65 grams or a half cup of cake flour, and we're going to sift this onto the top of this mixture. just let it set while we beat our egg whites into real consistent. Make sure you get it all in there. Okay, that is ready to go. We'll just leave that right here and set this aside. And we're going to take our egg whites and start beating them. We have beaten our 3 egg whites to a medium stiff consistency, which is soft peaks. We want to add 1/8 of a teaspoon cream of tartar at this point, and 3 tablespoons of Splenda. Okay, and we're going to beat these now to a hard peak consistency. That's hard peak consistency. Now we mix the egg whites into our other egg whites into our egg yolks and flour. And we do this in 3 steps. About 1, just till it's mixed. Scrape from the bottom. Do not deflate the egg whites as we mix it in, because that gives us our good fluffy texture in our ladyfinger cookies. We want to mix this just where it is incorporated, and we're going to pipe this in onto a cookie sheet that has parchment paper on it. And that's the mixture as it looks for piping. Our next step is to put the cookie dough into our piping bag. And you could do this with a Ziploc bag or a piping bag or anything. You can just do it with a spoon. I like to use a piping bag. As you can see, it's very puffy from the egg whites. And I just put that in a cup so it will all settle down to the bottom. And I want to put all of this in here at once so that the eggs don't deflate, and I want to pipe it out all in one setting. This will make approximately 18. cookies. And if we don't knock it over, it'll be just perfect. And here are our trays, our baking pans with parchment on them. We'll just take this up, tap it, twist it, and line out these little cookies in neat little rows on the parchment. I think we're ready to go in the oven. After 12 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees, we take these out. We could have put powdered sugar on top of them to make them a little bit more brown, or maybe an egg wash about halfway through. But all we need to do is slip them off onto a rack. Let them cool for just a few seconds. And it looks like we can just really take these, pick them up. They're lightly brown on the bottom, and let them cool out completely on this rack. And when they're completely cooled, we will take the other components of the tiramisu and complete the dessert and let it set up in the refrigerator for 4 or 5 hours, and then it'll be ready to eat. But there is your ladyfingers. A very simple recipe. Well, we've done a little work since we made our ladyfingers last night, and we're getting ready to make the tiramisu. After I made the ladyfingers, I mixed up the Jello vanilla instant pudding. It's sugar-free, and I mixed it like you do for a pie, which is using 1 1/2 to 1 3/4 cups of milk rather than the 2 cups of milk for regular pudding. And so we're ready to assemble our tiramisu. We're going to make our pudding mix, and then we'll line our bowls with ladyfingers, 2 kinds. I'm going to use some of the prepared here, store-bought, for one dessert and our homemade for the other dessert. We'll mix the pudding and then line our bowls with these lady fingers and soak them with coffee and coffee crystals, and then layer it up and top it off with cocoa. First, we're going to make our pudding, our filling. Here is the vanilla pudding I made last night. It has 1.5 cups of milk instead of the regular 2 cups, and so this makes about 1.5 cups of filling. We're going to use all of it. So there's 1.5 cups of sugar-free pudding. Our next ingredient will be a half a cup of mascarpone cheese. It's an Italian cream cheese, and we'll just use one half of a 16-ounce tub. Make sure we get full half here. And then we'll use about a cup of the cup and a half of the whipped topping. And that's about 8 ounces. 16-ounce can. And we'll mix these together with a 1/4 cup of Marsala wine. And we'll mix these together, and this will be the basis for our tiramisu filling. Once we get the filling mixed, we'll be able to assemble our dessert. We will we'll mix up some coffee here. We have a little bit of coffee, leftover coffee, about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. To this coffee, we're going to take just some coffee crystals and about a teaspoonful, and add that to it to make it a very strong brew. Then one of our desserts we are going to line with the lady fingers we made. These are our homemade lady fingers. We'll just put them down in the bottom and up the sides of our dessert bowl here. Give it a good lining, just like this. And we'll take some of the coffee and just drizzle it on till the lady fingers are well soaked in the coffee. Strong coffee mixture. And as an added little kick, we'll take just a few granules of the coffee and give it a thoroughly good coffee taste. And on top of that, to sweeten it, make sure it's not bitter, we will take a sweetener such as Splenda and just give the biscuits, cookies, a good topping. Now we'll put in our mixture. Add another layer of ladyfingers. And then the coffee mixture. And the final topping of our pudding. The final touch is to take some Hershey's cocoa through a sifter and top off our dessert tiramisu with a chocolate topping, cocoa topping. And there you have it. There is our tiramisu dessert ready to rest in the refrigerator. And in about 2 hours, it'll be ready. Well, there you have it. That is the low-carb tiramisu. Each one of those desserts, there is 2 servings and about 15 carbs. I hope you enjoy it. I did. Thank you, and thank you for watching.